Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 17 for our LRNR class. Guess what? This is our final lecture together. It went from, annotated bibliography, working hard to get that done, to suddenly here we are all done. We still have a couple of, we have a big project due. We have the e-portfolio, which is to be submitted Sunday the 13th by midnight. So our typical turn-in time. And I think I had written it wrong on the assignment. So for any of you that turned it in early or thought, it was due this week, it is due this week. It's just not due whatever arbitrary date I had assigned it to. Very strange. COVID brain. It's real. It's real. But I have been hearing from a lot of you, and I'm pleased that I'm also seeing a lot of the e-portfolios starting to come in. And what I'm going to recommend is that take advantage of, so I've created in week 16, so not in the e-portfolio resources, although I'll create a link there in the e-portfolio resources. But there's a e-portfolio discussion board, and it's been nice. Charlotte has posted her website there. So you can go and look at some student examples if you'd like. I think everybody could benefit from some extra examples, right? So it's right up here in the last week, in the week 16. So underneath where the e-portfolio assignment is due, there is the e-portfolio discussion board. So you can come here and upload your link too, and it will send me a notification, and anybody else that's linked here too, say, hey, Elvis posted his, or he's got a question about this tool, how to add an image. Can you, maybe go help them out? Oh, I did this. Oh, you actually embed it this way. So look to the discussion board, especially over the weekend, and maybe ask your questions there. And I get notifications, yes, straight to my phone. So I'm literally always monitoring you guys. So if you send or post to this discussion board, I will be watching it closely in the lead up to our final, which I'll touch on in just a little bit. But I also wanted to go over, well, I'm gonna recap the class just a little bit before I switch into just ePortfolio lecture for the week. So I wanted to revisit this excellent lecture slide created by the author of one of our books, the Research Strategy, 6th edition, William Badke. So we use this text to help us further our understanding about information and how research works, information works in the world. So when we think about scholarship specifically as academics, as students, we had those underlying threshold concepts. So authority is constructed and contextual. So whenever we deal with information, we understand that that these come from communities, that there's a context and authority. So your author's expertise also is a big part of understanding information, and that it has a information can come and be packaged in many different formats. So we looked at books, we looked at websites, we looked at journals, magazines, and we even took a look at modern day information and historical, and the way information changes over time. And we also thought about authority, we thought about credibility, and we applied some criteria for determining if we could trust information. So that information creation is a process as well, that there is value to this content, that knowledge and information does have limitations, but it also can affect our perceptions. So when we looked at predictive text, when we talked about Google and searching search engines, these affect our ability to understand what information is being presented, and that these communities of information sort of build on each other. So nothing happens in a vacuum. And then information has value, so it has a commodity, so you can buy and sell it. If you remember using Google Scholar or any of those website sources, you know that a lot of those articles wanted you to pay money to get them. So the library pays the money so you can access it. But it also has that a more hidden value. So it's a way of influence, and it's a way to disseminate a message. So when we think about esteem, when we think of scholarly publications and research, and it's an economy in and of its own self. So that value to society is an important aspect, because you, as a contributing member of the scholarly conversation, your voice is valued. You have to be part of that conversation. And I think that's part of the reason why a lot of instructors spend a lot of time harping on, say, MLA format, or little details here and there, or maybe not so details, but like full sentences, using proper grammar, spelling, editing. Those are important parts, because as part of the conversation, presentation is important. And then research is inquiry. As we saw during our annotated bibliography, or when we were crafting our research statement, those of us that worked together, we often had to revisit that recursiveness of searching for information is part of research. It's a quest. So using inquiry, so asking those questions, whether they're the 5 W's, the who, what, when, where, why, and how, but also applying our skills, applying our schema, so applying our own personal narrative, and using the tools that are in our toolbox to address those gaps in our knowledge, and also to interact with multiple viewpoints. So having those multiple viewpoints is an essential part to our understanding of an issue. So nodding at when we think critically about say, one of our sources that we use for the annotated bibliography, at the end, we got to reflect on whether or not it was a useful item for our research topic. And some of you said it was, and some of you said that it was not, and that was fine. But looking at how it works within the information zeitgeist, how it affects, or acknowledging the argument that there's both sides. So being critical thinkers is part of that process of inquiry. And then scholarship is conversations. Now that's that. I always forget how to say this word. Then I'm not going to say it. It's a community, and it's that part where we're all, by using something, we are engaging it, and we are contextualizing it and bringing it into our language, our conversation. Um, so it's also the way that scholars push each other. It's the way that students interact with each other. So if we think about our peer learning history, our personal learning history, and our peer shares, when we shared information and we heard it then repeated by your peer, something that you shared when you shared a piece of information, and then you heard it restated through another person, that level of cognition is a new perspective. They may be essentially boiling down the essence of what you were saying, but that was an important part to be demonstrated, to see. So this part of, if you hear criticism, or you get pushback from your professor, or they encourage you to revise something, do that, because really criticism is there to help you get better. So debates, criticism, those are all part of the scholarly conversation. And then strategic exploration, it's not a straight line. You're going to have to go back. And this we really saw in building our thesis. So our research question, we had our claim, and then we had a reason why we stated that claim. But our thesis was something that that had to be part of the entire process. And sometimes you will go back and change that. It changes over time. But having a good understanding of the tools at your disposal, understanding what different formats do. So why would you use a newspaper? Oh, to look at an event in time, to look at current events in time, to find an interview, to find information about a person. Um, and or why would you use a book? Oh, to look at more historical information, to find greater depth of information, or theoretical or criticism, literary criticism. Why would you use an academic journal? Oh, to look at um, uh, the methodology that's being applied to a certain group that's studied, and then they're reporting on that study, on their findings. So that sharing of information is an important part, and acknowledging how that information is packaged is an important tool in your tool belt. So Boolean operators, of course. So we used the and, or, not, quotation marks, and truncation. So I hope that you all walk away using those throughout the rest of your life. They're really helpful tools to um, assist you in searching, because you'll be doing you'll always have questions, right? So we're all lifelong learners, and we never really stop asking questions. And if you want to find something that is credible and viable, then applicable to your life, you will want to use these tools throughout. Um, and I think, I mean, I like all this. It's an adventure. It's a quest. Um, Good methods, critical thinking, and retracing of past. And I do think that Bad Key has a point there, that scholarship is a process. It's a quest, and but I also think that with our wide range of technology, digital advancements in information, that recognizing and evaluating and being skeptical and critical thinkers, and acknowledging why, or what the motivation of the author is for writing what they're writing, is perhaps a little more important in our day and age. Um, I I think that we live in a really exciting information time. And I really look forward to all of your um, academic and professional careers. I think there's there's a lot of exciting world out there, especially for information. Um, um, Next semester, I wasn't able to schedule some of my friends in because of COVID, because of pandemic times, but I will be inviting a guest lecturer or two. But uh, data asset management is a hot it's a hot technology information field. And it's very much like what I do as a librarian, where I'm categorizing and making accessible the different types of information. Um, but he's doing it for Gallo. So he does that for Gallo and their advertising department. So if you can imagine, Gallo has millions of products. Okay, not a million, but a lot of products ranging from wine, liquor, t-shirts, I mean, glassware, uh, so a huge inventory. And the advertising department has to organize all the photos. And then the person has to be able to find the photo that they want. So that is his job, that he organizes and makes accessible those important photos to use for advertising campaigns across the nation. So, oh, across the world. Sorry, it's a globe. I mean, Gallo is a global company. Um, so while that seems like a small niche uh, field, that is actually something that an information specialist would do. And that is what a lot of our our professional jobs will be moving into too. Um, what you'll be looking for when you got that diploma. So that was all I really wanted to touch on in the overview. We wrapped up this week with a little more discussion um, about the e-portfolio, and I think that I wanted to. I think we're Yeah, I think we already talked about our visual literacy. I did I did want to give a quick nod. So this is that Scott McCloud book, the Understanding Comics. And um, if you ever have a chance to pick this up, I don't know, want to spend $20, it's a good $20 spent. I highly recommend it. I really found this book. I think so. My comic book friends, I don't know. It's weird, guys. When you go through life, you'll find these niche of friends, and I and I just became friends with this like group of comic book artists, and a couple of them work for Marvel, I think, and they have a couple of their own like side, like little niche comics, like Battle Pug is one that comes to mind. Anyway, I was really into graphic novels at the time, and graphic text, and they recommended this book and told me that it would change my life, and they were not wrong. So it's a very interesting book about seeing, about reading. And I think that's really a fascinating idea when I think about when we talk about our, hold on, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. When we do think about graphic novels, or when we do think of images, I mean, isn't everything an image, right? So it does require a different type of reading. I think a combination of image and word can sometimes be a little off-putting, but you think of comic books or manga. Manga has grown popular. Well, it's been very, very popular in Japan and China for a long time, and has just really taken off in the United States. But the Merced College Library does have a pretty okay collection. I'm working on getting a grant so we can expand our graphic novel collection, but you know, it's a dream. There's a lot of really beautiful stuff too. I brought in a lovely book. This one's called They Called Us Enemy. So this is written by George Takei, and because all of you, I think some of you are before Star Trek. George Takei is he Captain Sulu? I think he's Captain Sulu on Star Trek. Yeah. Yes. Okay, I'm just looking here real quick in the notes. So this is a graphic novel about his experiences in the Japanese internment camps during World War II. So it's a lovely short read, and it's very engaging, and it's his experience of his family, and he was a small boy right there. And they had to go to the California internment camps, I think in Fresno. So really interesting, great example of how literature and comics and image can come together and create something really special, unique, and worth your time. My mind also goes to children's books. We were able to touch on children's book just a little bit. Now in the future, I look forward to adding a much more robust module just on genres of books. And I think what it's called is reader advisory. So whenever somebody comes up, so say you're working at a bookstore and they're like, can I get the book that has the blue cover on it? Just don't say that. At least have an author name. So when a patron comes in and they say, oh, I'm looking for something for my daughter, and she really likes horses. She's 8, so she's learning to read. She hasn't mastered it yet, but she's really interested in reading. So what we can do is then identify using subject terms. And so very similar to how we've searched using OneSearch, using the catalog. So there's a lot of fun things that we can do with children's books as well. And I also, I'm gonna put out a big pitch right now, and then I promise I'm done talking. Well, I'm done talking about this. Is if you have not become a member of your local public library, now is the best time. And I know you think, oh, the library is closed, there's nothing there for me. There are audiobooks and there are ebooks that you can download. And they're all free. So once you get your library card set up with either Merced, so if you're whatever county you're a resident of. So if you're, you can go to their website and go request or just give them a call and let them know that you're a new patron and you'd like to get signed up so you can check out items. You can also go and put things on hold. And I recommend this because the Merced College Library, what we collect is mostly for academic purposes. So, the kind of cut and the more, the William Badkeys of the world, all right? Nobody's gonna be reading this over winter break. If you are, bless you, but give yourself a break. You earned it. Read something a little more fun, or listen to an audiobook, or download an ebook on your Kindle. So those are all free services that are offered through the library. Also children's books. So I know a few of you have families, so take advantage of those really wonderful resources that are available through the library. And you can do that just by reaching out and starting by asking for a library card. Okay, so let's go ahead and start taking a look at some of our examples for the e-portfolio. So like I said, a couple of students have turned stuff in. In fact, I'm going to demonstrate Charlotte's right now, because you guys are tired of looking at my stuff. I'm tired of looking at my stuff. And I think that a couple of students have submitted their work, and it's really looking nice. I have another student's work here as well, but I think I have to go somewhere else to open it. Maybe I'll stop sharing my screen in a minute. So work in progress, okay? So Charlotte uploaded hers to the discussion board. So you're welcome to maybe head on over to Charlotte's and just pop her a quick reply and say, hey, how did you choose that awesome background? It looks great, doesn't it? I think it looks great. I love her title, Charlotte's Learning Journey. Perfect. I mean, I'm more silly, so I chose something, about my library beagle. Okay. So she also includes, she decided to do the assignment banned books. And then she also does her personal learning history here. Oh, and speaking of personal learning history, I also wanted to point out, I do have this Padlet, and I will make sure I add this to, in fact, I'm going to make a note right now. I'll add the Padlet of all your personal learning histories to the e-portfolio under class tools. So look for that. I really would love to see your personal learning histories included in your about page. So like how Charlotte had, so here's my Wix example. So here I have some blog stuff that still needs to be worked out. So here's my about page. And then here's my personal learning history, and then a little bit about, here's my reflection, okay? So the reflection piece, and let me jump to that real quick. Clicking. Let me close some of these. All right. Okay. So the reflection portion is pretty straightforward. So it's 100 to 150 words. So when you provide your 2 assignments, so first one can be the personal learning history, which I highly recommend. Put that in your about page. For your other assignment, or if you don't want to do the personal learning history, or you didn't do it, but then you still need to do 2 assignments, and you'll put them under the projects tab. All right, so for the reflection, so step 1, you can mention what the assignment was about. So that can be 2 to 3 sentences. And I recommend using words like I thought, I felt, I saw, I heard. Sort of those are really helpful, reflective opening statements. So you can use that language or not. But step 1, mention what the assignment was about, your understanding, and maybe what you thought was going to be the most challenging. Describe, so step 2, describe and evaluate your paper, video, discussion post. What golden line, aha moment, or main concept did you connect with? And that's another 2 to 3 sentences. And already, we're getting close to our 150, our 100 to 150 words. And then finally conclude your reflection by wrapping up summary and suggestion for future students. So I would suggest, this is something I would do differently. My favorite part of the video, I wouldn't have done that. So that's just an opportunity for you to look back on the student that you were when you did the assignment and the student that you are now. And if you have trouble doing that, pretend like you're speaking to somebody that has never done this assignment. That you're in fact teaching them. So, or you're giving them good advice, kind of like the library database tutorial. So you're taking your student by the hand and walking them through. Okay, so I do provide some examples right here. Oh, there we go. So Cheyenne is also was gracious enough to allow me to share her website with you. So also a work in progress, and Cheyenne is eager to keep working on her e-portfolio. But here she gives a little about me. Here's her blog page. So the blog page is important because this is also where you're going to do your final. So the final, I think I mentioned it at the beginning, will be a project summary. And it'll be 150 to 200 words. And all it is a general reflection, and I'll provide the prompt. It's a general reflection about the course in total. So I'll be giving some specific questions that you can answer, and that will be due by December 18th, which is a Friday, right? So heads up, not Sunday, the 20th, I guess. I don't have my calendar right in front of me. Not Sunday the 20th, but December 18th is a Friday, and that's the last day of school. So I cannot really accept any assignments after the 18th. So Friday, the 18th is your cutoff date. And I want nothing more than for every single one of you to succeed in this class. And there's only, I think the students that are going to get A's deserve those A's. But I also think that almost every single person can pass this class too. So don't hesitate to get in touch with me. Anyway, I'm not going to beat that dead horse anymore, but I'll continue on. So the blog, so this is where we'll be doing our final. Okay, so there is one last component that I have not assigned yet, and that will be assigned on Monday, and that will be considered our final because next week is finals week, right? So the final project summary, you'll be posting it in the blog portion. And then finally in assignments, so this is where you upload your 2 examples. So in Cheyenne's case, she chose the concept mapping and then the know, want, learn charts. So I really appreciate that she uploaded the images of the assignment. So if you do choose, say, like a paper, do go ahead and insert the link in there. Okay. So as you can see, there's a nice variety of customization and curation, and it's nice because I'm already getting a better idea of about Cheyenne. So yeah, I mean, it's lovely to read about and see her daughter on there, and it's pretty cool stuff. One thing that she is missing right here, and I think she let me know this is still a work in progress, but this will need a welcome statement. Okay, so the welcome statement is it's just it can be really as short or as long as you want it, and I think that I provide a little more information about the welcome statement. But well, let me go to the next module here. So the welcome statement is just say, oh, I'm going to do this last before we're done here. The welcome statement is more or less identifying yourself, identifying this class. So, okay, here we go. It will identify the main theme of the website. So let the viewer know that you are a student, that this is for LRNR 30, fall 2020, and this is the final year-end project. All right, so somewhere on your front page, you need to put in this little bit of text right here that, welcome to my website. My name is and I'm a student at Merced College. This e-portfolio is for my LRNR 30 fall 2020 class, and this is my final year-end project. Easy, okay? Something that identifies this website for what it is. Just in case, somebody decides to type in Carrie Bullock and my website comes up, they'll know what the stated purpose of this website is and go on with their life, okay? I do provide some other examples. This is another instructor from a different university, but I liked her welcome page, and she also includes a video. Yeah, she's a way overachiever. So I provided this here if you wanted to look through for some extra inspiration. So don't forget that welcome statement on the front page. Maybe provide an image. Images, as we learned in our visual literacy portion, convey a lot of emotion, and we can say a lot about the direction or the style or our purpose just by the photos that we choose. So I started integrating some mushrooms into my, but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and select Unsplash right now. And this takes me to Unsplash. And I'm recommending Unsplash because it is one of the most free image resource tool out there. There's others, but Flickr has sort of gone away. And you could go out onto the open web, but you can get in trouble snapping pictures and putting stuff into your student work without citing it properly. So what's really nice is this quick overview provides, and Google Sites is very kind to give a caption option where you can insert credit for the photo right away. Okay, so let's just do it. So here I've got and my example right here, and then how I actually put the credit in. So let's come over to Unsplash. I didn't really know what I wanted to search at first. I just typed in popular photos and I found lots of interesting items I wouldn't have thought to use. I like the black and white photography. It's nice. So if I see something that I like, okay, I'm kind of digging this architectural one right here. So I'll go ahead and click it, and then I can go to download free. So it's going to download into my browser. And then this is nice right here where I can copy to clipboard. Copy, great. So by citing the photo by Joshua Coleman at Unsplashed, I just give a quick nod to the artist. Now let's head over to, I think I've got Library Beagle open over here. So I'm going to go ahead and, I think I can add an image right here. So I'm going to go ahead and upload. And I think if you haven't already started looking around your Google Sites, this is super helpful. Over here on the right-hand side, they have all these layouts. So if I wanted, something wasn't working, I could always delete or move around. Let's go to upload, select image. Not sure. I think I can just upload it because I've just downloaded it. And there it is. So in my downloads inbox, now I'm going to double click and it's going to insert it in the box. Gosh, it just doesn't get much easier than that. Now over along the ... right here, I'm going to go to, oh wait, maybe not. Let's see. Select image, add alt text. This isn't really what I want to do. Let me see what else I can do. I think because it's not letting me add that caption text, I think I'll improvise a little bit and stick it right below. Okay. I would like it to look a bit more pretty, but I'm a little more concerned about giving credit to the author of the photo. All right, great. Doesn't look bad. It's nicely centered. So like all things with technology, when you think you've got it figured out, it rarely ever happens that way. So you may have to get a little inventive. All right. But if you use an image from Unsplash, grab that, do a quick copy and paste of the author's name, and then you got it in and it's looking good. Okay. So I'm not really asking you to provide an image for your assignments, but I would prefer that you put in your assignment. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So I started going down the rabbit hole and like adding personal stuff in there. So I'm also the advisor for the Merced College Book Club. We've been silent this semester. Well, no, our book clubs, we are not silent. We're talkative and quite chatty bunch. But I don't know. I don't know that we'll start it up again in the spring. We'll see. And and I also as soon as the pandemic is over, I also have the poetry slam. So the Merced College Poetry Slam is an annual event. We've done it for 3 years now. And we won't do it this spring, but the following year, I'm going to absolutely do the Poetry Slam again. It's an excellent event, and it's a wonderful, creative, expressive time for students to get out there. Important, publishing. Okay. Also, sorry, let me finish my thought first. You will need to publish, and when it comes time to turn stuff in, I need that published link. Now on Google Sites, it's just right here. Go to the copy link. This is what you will turn it. Actually, not even this. The home page one is what you're going to copy link, and then insert into your submit assignment URL. Please don't get into trouble not publishing your stuff and losing everything. Go ahead and publish every time you make a change. That's the only way that the changes get saved. I think that works out in Wix as well. So right up here, you got to go to publish, and then it does this little thinking twisty turny, and then we'll make the changes. So I really am pleased with my Wix website. I think it looks really nice. I think it's a really that this will be a platform that I think I might assign earlier in the semester, because it takes a lot more time. I feel like Google Sites, I can get things up quickly, but Wix, I feel like I can customize, and I don't know. I think I like their layout just a little bit better when it scrolls through. But for our purposes, Google Sites is the best. It's the best option. Okay, great. So once I've done that, I can also no, how do I get my website here? Go to site, help, Wix. And for those of you that are using the app to do this on your phone, that's fine. But you really need to make sure that you're publishing and that you are sending the proper URL. I have to have the URL, because if you just send me the the address to the app, that doesn't show me your work. Okay, so is it over here? I mean, I guess I could just oh, well, here it is. Okay, oops. So it's also right up in here. So I could just copy and paste it, but just so you know, it's on your dashboard. Okay. So I think for the most part, y'all have a really good understanding of the workings of the e-portfolio. So as we come to a close, I really want to let y'all know that I have enjoyed our time together. Each one of you have done some really amazing work, and I really want to commend you on persevering through what has been a challenging semester. And I know, some of you are taking lots of classes and some of you are taking just this one. But I think it's made more difficult when everybody is separated and there's a lot of sort of unknowns out in the environment right now, out in our public sphere. California just went on another lockdown, and gosh, we'll be remote learning again in the spring. But persevere, stick through it. This may be a challenging time, but it is also, I think this is the direction that professions are going to be going. I think that we're going to be moving increasingly into the digital world. People are going to want to work from home. We will see more and more applications. So learning new tools always is what I feel like I'm doing in my position. It's teaching is my favorite thing. I really enjoy it. I love working with students, but I also feel about 70% of my time is spent learning. Yeah, so that's that's not an exaggeration. I'm learning constantly. So yeah, I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope that you've enjoyed this class. That you've gotten something out of it. If anything helps you clarify the different format types, helped you to maybe organize your research, or at least identify those different information types using Boolean operators to narrow your research. And also, I am always available. Just because our classroom ends does not mean that you can't send me something in my inbox. Send me a Zoom request. I am oftentimes in the library, both on chat and also physically. So you're always welcome to stop by. I may, try to drag you into the book club. Just kidding. But I would love to eventually meet all of you face to face in real life, whatever that is. So, that's it for me. Don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. Don't forget, I'm going to share my screen one last time, to use that discussion board. I think that is a really helpful tool. Lean on your peers. With questions you may have. I will be monitoring the discussion board. Whatever question you have, I guarantee that if you're asking it, so are a bunch of other people. So don't hesitate to add to this ePortfolio discussion board, and I'll make sure I get it added into the class tools ePortfolio resources. Okay. Bueno, see ePortfolio resources. Sorry, let's jump in. All right. So I'm going to stop record and look for the final. I may release it as early as Sunday if anybody wants to get a start on it. But yeah, chip away at that ePortfolio and ask questions, and I will talk to all of you very soon.